Hey everybody, and welcome to My Socially Speaking. I'm Stacy, aka Sunny Day, author of Social Work Drama, now available on Amazon in both ebook and paperback. Sorry, that wonderful beat is so distracting. I wanted to talk to you today about a very, very serious subject. It's a little bit awkward, a little bit of a topic that is somewhat unaddressed, probably largely unaddressed. It's an issue that I see way too frequently. So I'm going to bring it to the forefront, real brief today, and get some people to think about it. And hopefully, if it's an issue that you struggle with, it's something that you'll begin to start to work on. So the topic is adult bullying. I know we always talk about bullying, and bullying is very serious when we think about children when we talk about it. But I'd like us to take a look at adult bullying, because adults bully one another all of the time. And when I say adults, I'm referring to 18 years of age and older. And when I say bullying, I'm referring to all environments. I'm not just talking about at work bullying, which is horrific. But I'm talking about bullying, your friends bullying you, your neighbors bullying you, different settings that you're a part of, your family bullying you, different environments that you are a part of, and maybe nobody else even knows that you're being bullied, but you know. And because you're an adult, you don't want to talk about it, you don't want to face it, you don't want to share it with anyone. That's why I want to bring it to the forefront today, so we can start to think about it and soon put it to an end. Usually, adults that are bullied are people that are bullied because of fear of that other person, depending on the situation and the circumstance. People are afraid of the other person or the other people that they may be bullied by. They may be intimidated by the other person or persons, or they may feel low self-esteem, so they just don't know how to empower themselves to stand up for themselves, or they may feel just a insecurity or a feeling of wanting to belong. There's various different reasons for people accepting being bullied. And what a person needs to do to combat bullying is to become self-empowered and to gain courage. I mean, we could just think, if you're having a difficult idea, if you're struggling with adult bullying in that concept, you can just think about the reality shows. I think they're pretty much scripted, so they give a good description of bullying. I mean, I love reality TV, but I know that they're scripted and there's different settings where adults are bullying other adults. If you're struggling with knowing what that looks like, that's pretty much a good description of it. And people that are experiencing adult bullying in regular life have a strong issue with standing up for themselves, have strong issues with standing up for themselves. And I just want to encourage you, and I want to empower you to become stronger. and to stand up for yourself because you can. And you don't have to allow others to bully you. You can become self confident in who you are and what you're doing. And you must love yourself completely. And that is a really, really good way to allow yourself to stand up for yourself and not tolerate adult bullying. I've seen it countless times, even in different settings, spiritual settings. I've even seen it. And you can see that the person who is the victim has low self esteem. So I really, really want to go over some tips for combating bullying, adult bullying. And this is not even something that you have to, because I know you might be embarrassed, those that struggle with it, you might be embarrassed to even talk about it with someone else. And that's fine. And you might be in your own circle suffering. And that's okay too. But now's the time to stop suffering and stop allowing people to bully you into whatever situations it is, borrowing money or whatever, however they are exploiting you, because that's basically what it is, exploitation. Stand up for yourself. And one of the ways that you can do that is gaining courage. And that may take some time. For some people, it may happen instantaneously, and then for others, gaining courage can take time. And you have to persuade yourself that you are enough and that you don't have to tolerate those pressures of the person or persons that's bullying you. Another tip is for you to put yourself first. When you put yourself first, it is that much more difficult to allow someone else to take advantage of you and push you to the side and make you do things that you don't want to do. So start putting yourself first because you matter. Practice self love. Take care of yourself and do the things that you know you want to do to make yourself feel better. It's fine to help everybody else. It's great to help everybody, but help yourself first. Usually, a person that allows themselves to be bullied oftentimes doesn't put themselves first. You gotta put yourself first. You come first. Practice positive affirmations if you need to. This might sound ridiculous, and it is something that's been practiced for years. Self talk, positive affirmations, even saying it out loud in private, in your car. I'm worthy. I'm strong. I'm competent. I'm sufficient. I'm enough. I'm a great friend. I'm a great family member. I'm a great sibling. You have to practice positive self talk. And you can say it out loud in private if you choose, or you can just write it down. And it might seem and feel a little uncomfortable, but it really, really works. And work on being independent. Many times, persons that I see that are a victim of adult bullying have some struggles with being alone. And that's okay too. But you have to get to the point where you work on yourself and you feel comfortable to be independent and to stand alone and know that you can do it, because you can. You can do anything you want to as long as you work towards it. And again, for some of us, it may come quicker. And then for some of us, we have to work really hard at it. But for those adults that are being bullied by other people in, again, any type of form, whether it's at work or whether it's in a social setting or whether it's at family gatherings or with family or with a particular family member or in your church group, wherever you are, stand up for yourself and know that what you feel, what you think is important, and most of all, You don't need to accept anyone pushing you around because it's very, very, very hurtful. And many people that succumb to adult bullying behind the scenes, when they are hurt, they can become depressed. And I'm not necessarily referring to a clinical depression, but it could be even that. It could be just sadness. Well, not just sadness, but sadness. Sadness is serious nowadays, especially if it's prolonged sadness, long term, because the goal is for us to feel happy. And that might sound far fetched to some people, but it's really, really not. You don't need to accept, oh, yeah, I'm going to be sad and down and hurt every day. No, that's backwards. And we're going forward. Remember? So we will readdress adult bullying. I just wanted to touch on it briefly and lightly today because I know that is something that many adults are experiencing. And I know it's a topic most people don't talk about. They don't address it at all. And they actually, and you can be 30, 40, 50. I've seen it. I've seen it time and time and time again. You can be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 and experience and be a victim of adult bullying. I see it all the time. I'm not bringing to the table anything that I haven't actually seen or haven't actually had experience with my nearly 2 decades of mental health experience. So I've seen it often, and not only in the professional setting, but in the private world of my own. I have friends that have experienced that. So it bothers me to see it, and it bothers me to see people suffer. So please start to stand up for yourself and gain the courage to speak up for yourself and let people know what you want to do, what you're willing to do, and what you're not willing to do. Now, I'm not saying go to work tomorrow and tell people off, but at work too, you don't need to accept bullying at work. It's kind of hard to prove that when it's at work, but appropriately, professionally, if it is in your work setting, address it too, because no one should be pushed to the side and coerced to do things that make them feel unhappy or sad. So that's my topic for today. And as always, I'm so excited to see you and be with you. And thank you so much for allowing me to share my tips and my topics and make my recommendations. And I really, really pray that it's very helpful to you in your life, if not directly to you, but you and someone in your family or a circle of friends. And just remember, I am here to put a smile on your face and a smile in your heart. Until next time, be good to yourself and be good to one another. Thank you. And you know, I'll let you go.